Hello, this is Lori Michelle for Running on Love with God, the weekly program. I was awakened in April of 2009 to the voice of God himself, and he said, go get pen and paper and start writing this down. And I listened, and here I am, all these years later, broadcasting from Israel, sharing the voice of Hashem God with you, whoever you are, wherever you are in the world. And my friend Anna Marie is in Chicago, and she is my weekly interrogator who asks me wonderful questions on very important topics. This week, the topic is a little sad, if you will, serious, because it is on the heels of the tragedy in Las Vegas that we're doing this program. And I entitled this program, What Will End the Heartbreak and Madness? Is God Listening to Our Prayers? And on the picture I posted on social media, I wrote, God gave us answers and instructions on how to live a blessed life. Are we asking the right questions? So that's where I'm going to lead in to you, Anna Marie, and ask you to ask me the right questions, because I promised you, I don't make this up, whoever you are listening. I am speaking directly with our Creator. I would never make this up. I would never say anything false. We need his wisdom, and he speaks to me in plain English day and night. So Anne-Marie, ask away. Ask what you want to know.
I'm going to ask your first question, and I don't know if there's an answer. Your question was, what will end the heartbreak and madness?
Perfect. What will end the heartbreak and madness is for every person to wake up and take responsibility for the choices that they make every single day, every minute of every day. You see, the source of the madness is choosing the evil inclination, the Yetzirah. It's a dark energy, and it's here on purpose to give us an alternative choice. In every moment, we have a choice as human beings to choose God and goodness, or the antithesis of God, which is evil. And that's where the madness is coming from. So how did Las Vegas happen? It didn't just happen. It was a choice. It was a choice by one madman, evil person. Stephen Paddock, I believe is his name. Mm-hmm. And people that I know would love to hear that he is an ISIS terrorist so that we can label him. And if we kill all the ISIS terrorists, all the Islamic fundamentalists in the world, we will have peace on earth. And that's just not the truth. We will never kill the last terrorists unless we understand where terrorism is born and where it comes from.
Would you say that Stephen Paddock was a terrorist?
Hashem says yes. A different form of terrorism, but terrorism, it's terrorism because he didn't really have an ideology or a group that we know of. He didn't have a purpose other than to create heartache and kill a massive amount of people. And from what I understand, he was looking to live and leave and get away. So he wasn't a terrorist that was on a suicide mission and I just want to die in glory. He had a purpose. So is he a terrorist? Well, we won't know from him, but Hashem God says he was. Was he part of a group? I don't know. He hasn't told me, Hashem hasn't told me anything about Stephen Paddock. What I'm here to speak about is what motivated Stephen Paddock? What motivates terrorists, the 19, I believe, terrorists that flew planes into the World Trade Center? What motivates this kind of evil?
Well, you said it was the evil inclination. In the Las Vegas situation, there was one person who was acting on the evil inclination, and then there have been thousands who've been acting on the good inclination. Thousands of people hundreds of people on the site acting in good, and then people donating.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm glad what you just said. Thousands of people acting on the good inclination. They're donating. Where are they donating? I'm asking.
Oh, online. I mean, they've raised a lot of money for the victims.
Right. Okay. Is that going to solve the problem? Donations to charity is a good thing, but where's the money going and what is it going to solve? It's a Band-Aid. It's not going to stop the next event. As a matter of fact, I don't know what the cause was, but 11 people in England were just injured in a car ramming incident. And then I heard it was a traffic accident, but I don't really know the results of that. But we hear about people getting behind the wheel of a car and using it as a weapon. Is it going to stop that? I also opened the news overnight, and there was a shrine in Pakistan. And I don't know the number of people who died yet, but the last I read was 18 people died, and many people lost limbs and were injured horrifically. We don't hear about Pakistan because a lot of people in America believe, well, Pakistan's just part of the problem, isn't it? A lot of terrorists come from Pakistan, so we don't really care about Pakistan. But I was heartbroken. These people were in a shrine doing some kind of ritual dance, praying to God, choosing goodness, as you said. Every day, there are people reaching for God with a good thought in their mind and in their heart. Truly good people. But are they aware when they're choosing the wrong energy, the evil inclination? The Yetzer Hara, it's Hebrew for the evil inclination, also known as Satan. People are unaware of the difference between good and evil. I look online all the time and I send you things on social media that I see posted on LinkedIn that are getting hundreds of thumbs up, and they're pure pornography. Yes, I sent you one today of a woman who's asking the question, is it cheating to watch pornography? And she posted a picture of a woman in a lewd and crude body position, like she was having sexual relations with her laptop.
All right.
I'm not making fun. I'm actually nauseated. 101 last time I counted thumbs up, and 60 or 70 comments. One of which I read was, no way. No way is it cheating. Like, go for it. And I post something about Las Vegas. What's going to stop the madness? Guess how many thumbs up and comments I got?
2?
0. When I post anything that mentions God, I lose followers. I've been in the business world for many years. I have many contacts. I know you 30 years. I was very successful in the business world. I know a lot of people. They're silent. Do you know where they're not silent? India. I post this post online on Facebook about what will end the madness, and I have maybe 800 thumbs up from India. Rio de Janeiro is another big supporter of my posts. America, silent. Rah! Unfollow her. Unlike running on love. It's about God. It's a cult. Really? And we're wondering, is God listening? God's listening. Are people listening? You're listening. Thank you.
Why are mass killings happening at an alarming rate? You said it's the evil inclination, but why so many more now than there ever used to be? Or is the news coverage that much better? And it's always been this bad?
Oh, no, the weapons. Look at the weapons that this Stephen Paddock had. Look at the weapons he had. How many people he was able to kill in just a few minutes. Weapons of mass destruction. Look at the dictator in North Korea testing nukes. We are in a much more precarious and dangerous place than we ever have been in the history of mankind. And I simply can't stop speaking the truth. People can turn away and say, how do you know? I have my own special relationship with God. And that's not the thing that I'm trying to dispel. You have your special relationship with God. Everyone does. But are you listening and asking the right questions? I know where the answers can be found, and I'm speaking to him in plain English. He gave us rules thousands of years ago, and only a select few, teeny tiny number of people understand his rules and make it a lifetime mission to follow his rules. Now, you said people, thousands, were choosing goodness, perhaps at this country music festival. Would you say that?
Yes, I would, because so many people came to the aid of the victims. And
no, before the shooting occurred. 3 days of music and fun, and 30,000 people or 20,000 people were sitting listening to music. Were they all choosing God while they were at this concert? Goodness and God.
Probably not all.
Right. The sad reality, and I'm not here to be a basher of every person calling you sinners, but the problem is every person is sinning without being aware that they're choosing the wrong thing. They're choosing Yetzirah every day and every minute of every day. Now, I'm not saying that 30,000 people there listening to country music deserved what they got. Of course not. That's crazy. What I'm saying is that the same inclination that twisted the mind of Stephen Paddock the same inclination is being chosen by every human being in the world. Everyone in the world chooses the evil inclination. It depends on the day, how much, and how far they go with it. So what I'm trying to wake everybody up to is this information that I'm sharing is written and studied and available. But when you ask a question, did Stephen Paddock have an ISIS connection? It's the Islamic. What was he connected to? And we need to go after that group. And if we can kill everybody in that group or arrest them, we'll have peace. Now that might be necessary. We need to know if he had people helping him, right? If he acted alone, or are there other people about to do the same thing somewhere else? We need to do that, but it's not going to stop the next one. And I saw someone on the news say, I hate to tell you, I don't want to admit this on television, but this can't be stopped. This couldn't be stopped. And, maybe if we take precautions, we can minimize, but we can't stop this. Right as this man said that, Hashem said, yes, we can. And yes, we must. We cannot continue this way.
Lori, I understand that the evil inclination is all over the place and that people are choosing it, but there has to be a difference in the degrees of evil. Like, for example, if I say something mean to somebody, isn't that much less severe than Stephen Paddock?
Well, different sins have different punishments and different outcomes, yes. But to be oblivious and say, well, I'll only sin a little. Oh, I'll only do this sin, but I won't do any of the big sins. It's like being a little pregnant. And I'm really not trying to be funny. It's really that serious. If you aren't aware and deliberately choosing in every moment, you are going to choose the wrong energy. And you are susceptible to going too far. Who's to say, if you don't have a measure in your own mind and know what God expects from you, Anna Marie, and you're pushed and you're squeezed and pressure is on you like you've never had pressure before, you're going to succumb to the wrong energy. If you're not aware, and the world is, most of the world is completely unaware. Let me give you an example. There are a lot of good Christian people going to church, giving donations to charity in 1935 in Germany. Good, hard-working German Christians. And they were having a terrible time in their economy. So they had a leader, the Führer, Adolf Hitler, gave them a common enemy. Now the common enemy is Islam. Let's kill all the Muslims. Maybe. It's still, the rallying cry is still, believe it or not, let's kill all the Jews. But I'm going back in time to Nazi Germany. Good Christian people, unaware of the difference between evil and good, truly, in every moment, unaware of all of God's laws. If they were aware of all of God's laws, they would understand that the Jewish people that they hated were following God's laws. So to say that a little bit of a sin, speaking evil, little lotion heart, say something nasty about the Jewish person next door. It's not so evil. I just said something a little nasty.
But are you saying that any of us could become mass murderers?
Yes. Yes. There's been psychological studies. I don't have the names of them off the top of my head, but my son, who is at university studying psychology, told me of a study that was made where they had a fictitious person behind a curtain. I don't know if you know this study, and I don't know the name of it, but they put an unsuspecting person in a seat, and they were told that they had to deliver a shock, electric shock. Do you know the study I'm talking about?
I do, but you'll have to refresh my memory. I've heard of this before.
I don't know the name of it. We'll look it up and maybe we'll post it on the program. But many of the people in the study delivered enough electric shock to the false victim, the fictitious victim who had a voice. It was a recording, screaming for their life. And they still delivered a shock, torturing the person on the other side.
What was their motivator to do that?
They were told, I don't remember what they were told, and I probably shouldn't have brought up the study because I don't remember it so well, but the point of my bringing it up is good, decent, God-loving people, charity-giving people are capable of doing that. In the Holocaust, Jews in the prison camps were known to be egregiously evil to the other prisoners. The worst of the worst were the Jews performing horrible things to their fellow Jews just to save their own lives. What I'm saying is, when you squeeze an orange, I'm going to quote Dr. Dyer again. I love the man. May he rest. He's not resting. He's working for peace on the other side. When you squeeze an orange, what do you get? You get orange juice, because that's what's inside. He used to use that analogy. When you squeeze a person, you get what's inside. If you don't know that you're choosing the evil inclination and you're riddled with it, if you're squeezed hard enough, Anna Marie, you're going to do awful things. Even you. Even you. Even anyone. I don't know how to stress this enough, but we're looking all over the world for peace on earth. So we're looking for scapegoats. And a lot of the college campuses now are very anti-Israel, very anti-Semitic. Colombia, a lot of them are having protests calling Israel apartheid Israel. And by the way, I walk the streets, Arabs and Jews live here, and I'm not saying the world is perfect in Israel or anywhere in the world, but it's not apartheid. I think it's frankly insulting to the people who lived through apartheid when there was an apartheid in South Africa. But they're screaming and yelling and anti-Semitic towards Israel. Is Israel the problem? No. And as a matter of fact, Israel is ultimately the solution, because I'm told that when people start to wake up and study how to get it right, how to choose God, what God really wants, he says there will be peace here in Israel before there's peace anywhere else in the world. The Palestinians and the Jews will come to a peaceful solution in the near term, not far away. It doesn't look possible, but that's what Hashem says. But they need to wake up first. They need to wake up and have an understanding as to what is the source of the problems. Are the Israelis the source of the problems for the Palestinian people, or is Hamas the source of the problem? Is teaching their children to take a knife and go and kill Israelis part of the solution? Of course not. We have to reel everybody in and learn the difference between choosing good and God and evil. And people think, oh, Laura, you're not telling me anything I don't know. But yes, I am. I absolutely am. I send you posts on a regular basis. Good, God-loving people, successful business people are posting the most repugnant, sinful posts on social media, and in big numbers, they're getting big agreement. So people don't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Going back to your opening question, you said that God gave us answers and instructions on how to live a blessed life.
Yes.
Are we asking the right questions? The answer is probably no, we're not. Then my question is, how do we ask the right questions? What are the right questions to ask?
Okay. That's a fair question. Let me think about that. That's one I hadn't thought about.
Okay, well then just answer your own question, which was, are we asking the right questions?
Right. Are you asking the right questions? All right. So, no, you're not asking the right questions. But the question to be asked is, where is this coming from? What caused this man, Stephen Paddock, to do what he did from God's point of view? Not from, well, did he have a fight with his girlfriend? Did he have a drug problem? All those are added problems onto the source of the problem. We need to go deeper. When you have cancer, you've got to find the source. Where is it emanating from? Is it pancreatic cancer? Is it breast cancer? Where is it coming from before you can even begin to treat the problem, right? Otherwise, it's a Band-Aid.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, the correct question is, what did I do to create the problem in Las Vegas? Crazy?
Yeah.
Not crazy. Not crazy. Every single person is choosing the wrong thing at least twice a day. More than twice a day. The wrong thing meaning the evil inclination or Satan. When you get enough people choosing the wrong thing, it becomes an energy and a life of its own. And what do we see in America? What do we see in Chicago? How many people are being shot daily in Chicago?
Yeah, we're in October now, and we're over 500 for the year.
We're over what?
Over 500 killings so far, and it's early October. So we still have almost 3 months to go.
So you and everyone else will say, well, I don't even own a gun, or I own a gun and I practice gun safety, and I would never do that, and I'm a good person, and I go to church, and I give to charity. But there's more. We're getting it wrong. And unless people start to wake up and look around and say, we're on a train heading straight down to the abyss. Now, a lot of people have a lot of problems with President Trump. And I'm not saying he doesn't need to clean up his own swamp. He's got a lot of issues. But he saw the country that he loved heading south, up 2 minutes. And what did he do? He stood up and said, I can't take this anymore. I have to do something. And that's where every person, not just in America, but in India and in Israel and in England and in Spain, every person has to take their own responsibility and start asking, where am I choosing wrong? Because you can't control the Stephen Paddocks of the world necessarily, but you can control yourself. And we have to go inward, and we need to examine ourselves, and we need to learn. The rules are there. The rules are in the Torah given to Moses thousands of years ago, and only a select few are learning and reading these rules and making it their life mission to work on themselves to be better human beings every moment of every day. The status quo is going to lead us straight down to the abyss, and there will be no more. We must wake up and reach for God and His laws and learn how to get it right in every moment. I hope you're listening. I hope this made sense. There'll be more. Please join us again for Running on Love with God. And please go to my website, lauriemichelle.net. I'll have a private meeting with you. I'm happy to help you personally discover how you can get it better and more right in every moment and reach for God and improve your connection with Him. God bless you. May there be peace in our world. in our time. God bless you.